Oh, Charlie Spaniel, you going on an adventure with Mama?
Yeah. Gonna not look like this when we come back, mate.
You be good. And you be good too, there. Dog really ain't gonna be happy with us when he gets back. Right? How you doing? Charlie Spaniel, what'd she do to you? Oh, bless him. You're so soft. Although you have lost your little moustache, haven't you? You just got a little... You're a good boy. Isn't you, hey? You're a good spaniel. Oh, you're a good spaniel. Boop. I'll grow back soon, my man.
Later.
There you been. You've been on the floor. Why didn't you tell me you're on the floor? Because you know you're on the floor because you're a camera. Or me. But not of now. Of later. Or you, who isn't me. That isn't a camera. That didn't know it was on the floor. That's a mopey looking spaniel. It's been alright. Today, Army of Two, 40th day was the stream game of choice. If you hadn't guessed. And it was brilliant. Me and Devine sat down. We've been trying to finish this game since 2012, 2013. Last time we played it was apparently over a year ago. This one might have been our second or third attempt to get through it. But today we finished it. We streamed the end of the goddamn game. Devine has now finished Army of Two 40th day. Shamefully, he hasn't finished the first Army of Two game, but we finished 40th day today. Which means we're going to start rolling on to Devil's Cartel soon. Can't goddamn wait. Just wish we could still play the original Army of Two online. Which, since I'm on the subject of Army of Two, I've had many questions from people today. How do I play co-op Army of Two? I'm assuming they're playing it on the Xbox, because apparently even local play, they can't seem to get co-op mode to work. That's puzzled me a little bit. I've also been told many times recently Army of Two is the current, European at least, games for gold free game on Xbox Live Gold. Army of Two is making a comeback. Will they make a fourth game? Probably fucking not. And I still think it's funny that it seems most people who currently play Army of Two, who talk to me about Army of Two, found Army of Two through... I thought they maybe found me through Army of Two, but they found Army of Two through me instead. So how the hell these people found me, I'll never know. Ah, the spaniel. Bless that poor soppy little spaniel. You've still got your cow lick, haven't you, mate? Haven't you? You still got your cow lick. But you're feeling a little bit sorry for yourself, aren't you, hey? Feeling sorry for yourself? You got a bit of an attitude now, ain't you? Because now you took you out for a walk. And you kept on trying to woo people, didn't you? You're like, oh, I'm a little dog. And I'm now bald. So I'm gonna woo. He's gonna woo. You're gonna tell him off, aren't you? Like they were staring at you funny. Why were they staring at you funny? Because you're bald. But you don't stink anymore, do you, hey? You don't stink anymore. Now, one thing that we were worried about was that the big man would have an issue with Charles having a haircut. But they made more of a fuss over it than we did, to be fair. Absolutely mental.
No, don't show off. Play with him nicely.
Oh!
Look at him, Scraggles. You got a blonde raspberry on his belly. Look, watch, ready? Okay. Nearly blonde raspberry. Get off the sofa.
Oh, my leg! Because you love lunch.
Because we can get your belly down, can't we? You're biting me. You bite me. He's getting brave. Oh, he's going to get you now. He's not getting your bed. It's not our fault we got a Kojak. Go. Quick, get under the bed, quick. Under there, quick. Get under.
That's better now. That's better.
Get off her.
I can't help you. Spaniel face.
Spaniel. Oh, don't be cruel, his little face.
Wait. Wait.
No, you got blow.
Okay.
Blow.
What the hell?
Oh my goodness, he went for the jugular. What the heck? No, get off. Don't you back, Jack. Oh. No, I've got to calm down now. No, calm down because you're going to get in trouble. So be calm, Charlie.
Be calm, Charles.
Now you didn't see Theo in that clip, but trust me, when they first came in from seeing their tutor this afternoon, they went nuts over Charles. Absolutely nuts. They always had a haircut and stroking him and hugging him and all that. And you was your family favourite again, weren't you? Because you didn't stink. And then you went upstairs and you were a pain in the bum eating slippers. Because you're a pain in the bum, didn't you, Spaniel? My boys have been little diamonds today, for the most part, you know, bless them. So they went to their tutor, they did good, they, you know, they did this every time. They weren't too impressed with the idea of going initially, mainly because I didn't let them take their Ben 10 Omnitrixes. The Omnitrixi? The thing they stick on their wrists that's from Ben 10. That. Those. But yeah, once, you know, they went and bless them, they did what they were asked to do, kind of getting eased back into it, and yeah, it's been good. And they were good when they came home. They were good. They've been good. However, potential stumbling block has been discovered. So today, on the way into school, we were informed that a little lad that William plays games with may be potentially leaving the school. Probably, most likely leaving the school. So a little lad that's been in school with William since .1, you know, day 0, but his parents have decided that it's probably for the best that he moves to a different school, which is a bit soul crushing because they were friends to start with, or they might have bullied each other to start with actually. If anyone goes back to the vlogs like way back in the day, it's the lad that's the same size as William, or near enough the same size as William, and they used to butt heads a lot. Well, over the last God knows how long, they've started playing trading card games a lot together. Yu-Gi-Oh, Dinosaur King I think, and some other little games. And yeah, we found out today that he might be leaving school. He's He's had a diagnosis. I believe he's been diagnosed autistic, and he's being moved to another school. I believe it's the same school that little Lily, another of William's friends, it's the same school that she recently went to. This could be an absolute feckin' disaster. But hopefully we can find a way for them to keep contact. William is being more social in school, but more and more of the kids that he started that school with are leaving, and one of the main reasons that we keep them, or keep both of the boys really, in the school that they're in, is they know people there. And change is a pretty drastic, heavy-duty thing, and you have to be sure that even if you know, even looking into it to start with, you might think you're doing it for the right reasons. You have to look at it from the kids' point of view too, because changing schools isn't something that you're necessarily going to be able to undo anytime soon. They're going to lose all their friends, going to lose all the teachers that they know, that little security that they have, that little tiny kind of handful of security, the comfort that they have of going to somewhere familiar will be gone. Hanging out with people they know will be gone, and at this rate we ain't even having to change schools for all this to change for the boys, because everyone else is changing around them. I have suggested though that perhaps, I know it's a silly thing to say, I'm tempted to get the little lad a box of Duel Monsters cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, just a you know, a Yu-Gi-Oh Yu-Gi-Oh starter deck or something, and then get William one as well, and then say, look, hey, you know, if the kids want to play cards together, because you know that's what they do at playtimes, break times and that, we'll just set up like one Saturday or whatever every now and then, just come around and play some cards, play some games. I'll set some stuff up and we can all just hang out and play. So, because the lad is a nice lad, he's, you know, he's a big old lad just like William, and he is a bit of a tank, but he's a gentle giant in the grand scheme of things. I don't really quite think he realises how big he is. Same with William, really. They thunder about, and I honestly hope that he's not going, or that he doesn't go. But wish him luck if he does, bless him. Like I say, he seems like a nice kid. All the kids that generally hang out with William are nice kids, so yeah. But you know, so there's that. Bribing my kids with cards, is that what that sounded like? I think it did. I think it did. Only other thing really to note, I suppose, is that I've been fiddling with my Linux box. I've had a few deliveries today. I've got all my cables finally, and I did order a separate cable for my capture card, an A2A. But I did also get, I don't know if I mentioned it, I grabbed another one of those PC Express cards. This is the PC Express adapter for my laptop, or the shield that goes into the laptop. I got another one of those USB 3 cards from a different brand. To see if I could get that one to work. Well, there it is. Well, you can't really see it. It's inside the laptop, but there's one of the USB 2 ports. There's a USB 2 port on the back, and that's where the Express card is, with those two cables going into it. One would assume this one worked. Well, if you guessed that, you guessed fucking wrong, because it wasn't just a straight swap, pop in and go. However, this one didn't require the jaws of life, the pliers, to get the damn thing back out. Initially I thought I might have had to have done, but it just seems to have, you know, after the first time putting it in, it slotted back in just fine. So, gravy on that one, because I was starting to panic. However, it was not smooth sailing. We had the same reduction in performance from plugging it in as the first one. So, with the exception of jamming in the port, the other one may very well have worked too, because I have managed to suss it out and get it to work. It does work because I've tried it. In fact, my web camera is plugged into it now. And so what we'll do is we'll just go there, and if I go cheese, because cheese drives the webcam, you should see in theory, assuming I haven't got OBS running. Ah, there we go, it's now pulled the capture card, god damn it. Preferences, HD Pro webcam, the light comes on, and there we go. There's me on cheese on the laptop going in through this cable down here. If the camera catches up, it's this one. That is what's running that doobly-doo there. So what was the trick, seeing as it wasn't a straight plug in and go? As I say, same issue as the other one, with the exception of getting jammed. I tried loads of stuff. I'd had suggestions that IOMMU was an issue, like PCI pass-through, disabled it. Virtualization, disabled it. You know, IOMMU relates to virtualization, but still disabled. Still no help. Had other issues for the life of me. I can't remember what they were called. Basically, everything seemed to tie to some form of virtualization. I tried editing settings in Grub, because Grub is basically what tells the, you know, what modules of the kernel do you load. Do you load everything, or do you turn things on or off, or whatever? You define that in Grub. No joy. If I disabled the express slot in the BIOS, worked fine. So it's like, great, okay, so it might be the express slot or it might just be that card, okay, fine. And then I wrote Ubuntu 1604, I think, to this memory stick. I booted off the memory stick, I plugged in the card, and Ubuntu didn't slow down. Plugged in a camera, opened up cheese, and the camera worked. I was like, right. Okay, started digging around, kept on looking, putting in serial numbers, chip numbers, you know, you name it. I was looking for it. I was digging through big old bulletin boards, mailing lists, and not really much luck. And then I was like, well, hang on a minute, could it be the kernel? Because I run the latest bleeding edge Linux kernel because I'm running Arch. Ubuntu never runs the latest bleeding edge kernel. So I did a bit more digging, and I happened to find someone that suggested, like literally one page suggested this, that express cards in laptops on kernels over 4.9, I believe it was. No, I can't remember if it specifically said USB 2, but they said, you know, they just said there were some issues with initialization. So I had a little bit of a dig, and I checked my kernel. I can't remember what kernel I had, but it was higher than 4.9. 4.9 is the Arch Linux LTS kernel. If I just go to, can I have a look? No, I don't have it. I don't have it listed at the moment. But yeah, basically, either way, what I ended up doing was installing the Arch Linux LTS kernel, and then editing Grub and telling it, or adding on an extra menu to say, look, I want to default boot using the LTS kernel, but if I want to boot using the bleeding edge kernel, use this option. So I now have two options on startup: defaults to LTS, and then the one under that is bleeding edge. If I go bleeding edge, I'd better make sure that card isn't installed, because if it is, the laptop will run like absolute poop. But now on LTS, that card runs fine. So if anyone has one of those cards and your laptop stops working, or the ports don't work, or something like that, make sure you are on a kernel below 4.9. I'm pretty sure it's below 4.9. 1 second, let's see if I can, I can't actually remember the, 4.9.7 apparently is what I'm running now. 4.9.76-1. With that running, that card works fine. Couldn't use it exactly how I wanted to, because I wanted to use something like this on it as well, but as soon as I start plugging in one of these and multiple video devices, not directly into this, but like let's say I plug this in and say my web camera goes into this and my capture card goes into the other side of the other port on the card, and then I plug in like my microphone stuff, it just instantly spanks it and says no. Plugging the two devices directly into that card, not a problem. Although I've had one dropout running both video devices off that card, so I've separated them. Web camera and all of my audio will go off that USB card, the inserted card, and my capture cards will run directly off the inbuilt USB 3 for stability, at least, for stability's sake. So at least that way I know that I'm not going to, if I break those two USB ports, it's literally just a swap out card and we're good to go. If I broke any of the other ports, not so easy to replace. If I break one of the main ports on the board, I'm going to be kind of upset, but still, it's done, it's an option. Gravy. I was also looking into a PC Express external graphics card thing. So I was going to tear down Burnbox and the T3500 that we have in the front room and put in and use the 750 Ti on the little laptop, so that this little laptop will basically take the graphics card out of one of the two machines down here somewhere, and yeah, because I could get nearly, not quite, nearly the same amount of performance out of it. So, you know, I could sit here and play Ziggurat on this screen with the GPU, like just as a little dock, just having it sat up on a desk somewhere, and then if I wanted to use that graphics card, just plug in and go. I'm still tempted to try it, just not right now because I really don't have the pennies, but that's something to work on, and something to think about in the future. So, with that said, I might be playing some Devil's Cartel in a little bit with Devine, but I'm still waiting for Inky to get home. I'm going to have a quick shower, and yeah, I hope things go smooth with the boys, with school. I know that they've just been bumped up a grade for like reading and spellings. Well, at least William's been bumped up a grade, but the trouble is he's not now being taught his spellings in class. Well, they've given him harder spellings, but they're not revising them with him. But he's spelling them how they sound, and these are tricked. These are kind of tricked out, so you can't spell them how they sound. They don't. That wouldn't work. So I kind of thought that was a little bit cruel, but you know, I don't want him to get I don't want him to have this confidence knock and then have his mate disappear and just. Yeah, I'm gonna head off. So I hope well, and I'll see you all with a bit of luck tomorrow.